Imagine being the first to break through a barrier that had stood for decades, the first to shatter the ceiling and open doors for generations to come. That's exactly what Nat Sweetwater Clifton did when he became the first African American to sign an NBA contract. Welcome back to Soulful Storylines, where today we're diving deep into the inspiring true story brought to life in the movie Sweetwater. In Sweetwater, we're transported back to the 1950s, a time when the world of professional basketball was still very much segregated. The movie doesn't shy away from showing the harsh realities of the era, making Nat Clifton's journey all the more remarkable. This was a time when African Americans were barred from many opportunities, and the NBA was no exception. The film sets the stage by highlighting the deep racial divides that existed both on and off the court. Now let's start with Nat's early life. Born in 1922 in Arkansas, Nat Clifton grew up during a time of intense racial segregation. From a young age, he had a passion for basketball, but the road to the NBA was anything but smooth. In the movie, we see young Nat honing his skills on the dusty courts of his neighborhood, dreaming of something more, despite the obstacles in his path. His early life wasn't easy. He faced poverty, racism, and a society that constantly told him he didn't belong. Yet it was on these very streets that he developed the toughness and determination that would later define his career. The film does a fantastic job of portraying Clifton's determination. Despite the racial barriers, he made a name for himself in the barnstorming circuit with the Harlem Globetrotters, a team known more for its showmanship than for playing in professional leagues. But Nat's talent was undeniable, and his dream of playing in the NBA never wavered. The movie adds depth to this chapter by showing the camaraderie and brotherhood among the Globetrotters. They weren't just teammates, they were a family, united not just by their love for basketball, but by their shared experiences of discrimination. The Harlem Globetrotters were more than just entertainers. They were a team of exceptional athletes who, like Nat, faced constant discrimination. The movie captures the energy and spirit of the Globetrotters, showing how they became a beacon of hope and pride for African Americans across the country. Through high-flying dunks, trick shots, and a relentless drive to win, they challenged the status quo, proving that African American athletes were more than capable of competing at the highest levels. Now let's talk about Nat's big break. Then came the pivotal moment for Nat. In 1950, Clifton's hard work paid off when he became the first African American player to sign an NBA contract, joining the New York Knicks. The film doesn't just highlight the significance of this moment for Nat, but for the entire sport of basketball. It was a watershed moment, one that signaled a shift not just in sports, but in society as well. The signing wasn't just about a player joining a team, it was about breaking down the walls of segregation in one of the most visible arenas in the country. Next, go over Nat Clifton signing the contract. Signing that contract wasn't just a personal victory for Clifton, it was a historical milestone. The movie captures the weight of this moment beautifully, with Clifton's emotions portrayed with a mix of pride, determination, and a deep understanding of the responsibility he now carried. The script carefully balances the excitement of this achievement with the somber reality that Clifton was stepping into uncharted territory, where he would face intense scrutiny not just for his skills on the court, but for his very presence as a black man in a predominantly white league. Let's look at Nat's challenges in the NBA, but breaking barriers isn't easy, and Sweetwater doesn't sugarcoat the challenges Clifton faced. From racist taunts to being treated differently by teammates and fans, the movie shows how Nat had to endure the harsh realities of being the first. The filmmakers take us into the locker rooms, onto the buses, and through the arenas where Clifton faced hostility at every turn. It wasn't just the pressure of performing at an elite level. It was the pressure of representing an entire race, of knowing that every move he made was being watched, judged, and in many cases criticized. Next, let's go over Nat's impact on the Knicks and the NBA. Clifton quickly proved that he belonged in the NBA. His presence on the court was undeniable, helping to lead the Knicks to multiple playoff appearances. But more than that, Nat Clifton's success paved the way for other African American players, forever changing the landscape of professional basketball. The film goes beyond just the statistics and accolades. It delves into how Clifton's very existence on the court forced the league and its fans to confront their own prejudices. He wasn't just playing for himself, he was playing for every African American who had ever been told they didn't belong. Let's talk about Nat's legacy and impact. Sweetwater also does an incredible job of exploring Clifton's legacy beyond the court. His story is one of perseverance, courage, and a relentless pursuit of equality. The film highlights how Nat Clifton's trailblazing efforts opened doors not just in sports but in society as a whole, contributing to the broader civil rights movement. By signing that NBA contract, Clifton wasn't just making history, he was making a statement that echoed far beyond the hardwood. His legacy is not just in the points he scored or the games he won, but in the barriers he broke and the paths he paved for future generations. Next, we will focus on Nat's life after basketball. After retiring from basketball, Clifton's legacy continued to grow. He became a symbol of resilience and progress, inspiring countless others to pursue their dreams, no matter the odds. The movie's portrayal of Clifton's post-NBA life is a touching tribute to a man who never stopped fighting for what he believed in. From his involvement in community work to his efforts to mentor young athletes, Clifton's impact extended far beyond his playing days. The film beautifully captures how Clifton's influence continued to resonate long after the final buzzer sounded. Now let's look at Clifton's contribution to civil rights. Sweetwater doesn't just tell the story of a basketball player, it tells the story of a movement. Clifton's journey is a testament to the power of sports as a catalyst for social change. By stepping onto that court, Clifton wasn't just playing a game, he was challenging a system. His story reminds us that progress is never easy, but it's always worth the fight. As we watch Clifton's struggles and triumphs, we're reminded of the countless others who fought alongside him, both on and off the court, to ensure that the doors he opened would never be closed again. In closing, we're left with a deep appreciation for the struggles and triumphs of Nat Sweetwater Clifton. His journey was one of breaking barriers, challenging norms, and ultimately changing the world of sports forever. Sweetwater is more than just a movie. It's a celebration of a man who dared to dream, and in doing so, made history. If you were inspired by Nat Clifton's story, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with fellow sports fans, and subscribe to Soulful Storylines for more deep dives into the most compelling stories in sports and beyond. Let us know in the comments what you think about Nat Clifton's legacy and how his story impacts you today. I'll see you in the next one.